Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the flipped class video number 12. We are going to be talking about how the English arrive in North America. So in 1607, 3 ships and about 100 settlers established the English colony of Jamestown. The first years were disastrous because the settlers were more interested in gold than they were in crops. So they were more interested in finding this source of wealth than they were feeding themselves. Kind of crazy. 7 out of every 10 settlers are going to die of hunger, disease, or in battle with the natives. So Jamestown, it's located here in Virginia, right here if you look at the map. Maybe some of you did the Jamestown-Williamsburg field trip in 4th grade. I did. I remember it, and it was so awesome. So Jamestown, it's going to become the first permanent English settlement when the farming of tobacco became very profitable for the settlers. Virginia is still known today for being top in the tobacco industry. We are still growing tobacco, and it is extremely profitable still today for Virginia. The Puritans, they're going to create a New England. In 1620, a group of pilgrims founded the second English colony at Plymouth, Massachusetts. They were persecuted for their religious beliefs, so they came to the Americas searching for religious freedom. So they're going to flee England, come here to the Americas, and in 1630, the Puritans are going to also come here to the Americas searching for religious freedom, and they are going to establish the Massachusetts Bay Colony. New Netherland. In 1609, Henry Hudson was in North America searching for a northeastern sea route to Asia. He discovered the Hudson Bay and the Hudson River. The Dutch, who are people from the Netherlands, they're going to build trading posts along the Hudson River, and the most important being on Manhattan Island, which became known as New Amsterdam, and today you know it as New York. The competition for North America. There was political and economic competition between European empires for control over North America. To the English, the Dutch land of New Netherland, it separated their northern and southern holdings. So take a look at this map. What is in red up here in the north and down here in the south belong to England. This blue section is going to belong to the Dutch. So the Dutch are in the middle of the English lands that they had claimed here in the Americas. So it's kind of like a little separation, a little kind of a pain in the rear. So in 1644, the Duke of York was able to push the Dutch out. So they got them out of that blue area. And they were able to do so without firing a shot. And they claimed the colony for England and renamed it New York. The English then controlled the east coast of North America, and then they're going to establish what you guys know as the 13 colonies. So here they are on the map. The original British 13 colonies. Sorry about my dog barking. All right, moving on to the next set of notes. Standard 4D. You will be able to describe the Columbian Exchange, which also includes its impact on native populations. The discovery of the Americas by Europeans resulted in an exchange of products and resources between the eastern and the Western hemispheres. The Columbian Exchange. It is a global transfer of foods, plants, and animals during the colonization of the Americas. The exchange of items between the Eastern and Western hemispheres. So what do I mean by this Eastern and Western hemispheres bit? Well, let's take a look at the next slide. So here is a picture of the Columbian Exchange. This is the exact one you are going to do for the map on page 60 next class. So if I were to draw a line in the middle right here down the Atlantic Ocean, it would separate this picture into two. And we would have the left side and we would have the right side. So if we use our compass rose, we know in our heads that all lands to the left of that imaginary line would be the west. This would be known as the Western Hemisphere, also known as the New World. And then all lands to the right of that line or to the east of that line would be known as the Eastern Hemisphere or the Old World. So goods that were brought from Americas to Europe, Africa, and Asia are items that you see here: pumpkins and turkeys and peanuts, potatoes, tomatoes, corn, pineapples, tobacco, just to name a few. And then goods that were brought from Europe, Africa, and Asia to the Americas, we were going to have citrus fruits, bananas, sugarcane, livestock such as cattle, sheep, pigs, and horses. And the big one you need to know, diseases. Diseases such as smallpox, influenza, which you know as the flu, malaria. All right, those, it's not really a good, but those unfortunately are going to be brought to the New World or that Western Hemisphere, and it's going to lead to the demise of about 90% of the native population. All right, so here we're going to talk about it again. Americas to Europe, which means the Western Hemisphere to the Eastern Hemisphere. So ships from the Americas brought back goods to Europe, Asia, and Africa that had never been seen there before. So this is going to be the first time these goods are going to be brought to Europe, Asia, and Africa. And they include tomatoes. Notice how it's bold and underlined. You need to know that. Squash, pineapples, tobacco. Put a star next to tobacco. The SOL people like to say that one too. And cacao beans, which is how we get our chocolate. And the two most important plants are corn and potatoes because they are cheap and they grow in most climates. So again, notice that they are bolded and underlined. That is because the SOL people like corn, potatoes, tomatoes, and they do occasionally throw in tobacco. To put a little star next to tobacco. All right, Europe to the Americas. So we're going to have the Eastern Hemisphere to the Western Hemisphere. So we're going to have various livestock, so animals, live animals. They are transported to America from Europe, and they're going to include horses, cattle, sheep, and pigs. Horses had never been in the Americas until the Europeans brought them over on boat. So when you think of the Native Americans on their horses with their bows and arrows, the horses were not here prior to the Europeans coming over and staking claim in the land. So just make note, livestock such as horses and cattle are two big ones the SOL people like to ask. You need to know that they are known as livestock, so live animals. Following foods are introduced to the New World. So we're going to have bananas, black-eyed peas, not the band, yams, wheat, rice, barley, and oats. Negative exchange. This is the one I talked about at the map. It's disease. That is a huge one the SWL people love to bring up. European diseases such as smallpox and measles, they are going to kill 90% of the Native American population. 90, 9 out of 10. That's a lot. All right, so that is it for the flipped class video number 12. Again, make note of that map. You are going to do one exactly like it in class. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Have a good one. Take care.